What's going on, guys? It's your boy Neeks, back with some transfer news here regarding Liverpool this time and the pursuit of Timo Werner from RB Leipzig. Now, I think most people will be aware that Liverpool are interested in the striker, the German striker Timo Werner from Leipzig, and that Leipzig don't really have much control on that transfer, in as much as that Timo Werner has a release clause. And from what reports are telling us, that Timo Werner is ready and waiting and willing to join Liverpool ahead of any other club. We know that Liverpool, we've spoken about how good the team is. Everyone knows how good the team is, and what we've also always spoken about is the strength and depth. I know last season it was criticised, and what's I criticised when you compared it to the rivals for the title, Man City. You look at their strength and depth compared to Liverpool's, it's incomparable, and that is an area that a lot of Liverpool fans and football fans alike know and want Liverpool to strengthen it. I mean, me personally, I don't want them to strengthen in that, but if they are to become a great team, and I'm talking about winning back-to-back titles and competing at the highest level for the I don't know, next 5 to 10 years, they need to have strength and depth. They can't just keep relying on the 11, and specifically the front three, which has got them to where they are. So the interest in Timo Werner is expected, it's understood, but the issue now is the money. Now, as I said, RB Leipzig don't really have much control at this stage because Timo Werner has a release clause, £52.7 million. I think that's about 60 million euros. And if Liverpool pay that before a certain date, activate that, then it's between Liverpool and the player to agree personal terms. However, the issue right now, and it's a bit of an issue for Liverpool, to be fair, is this whole, and it's a bit of an issue for everyone, of course, but this issue for Liverpool is the finances. 52 million is not a load of money for a player who has scored 29 goals in all competitions, who is leading Leipzig into what is or has been a brilliant season so far. And they beat Spurs in the Champions League last 16. They're in a title race, a tight title race to be fair, at the top of the Bundesliga. Even if they're not really loved by the German public because of how they have got where they are, you have to respect where they are, and the quality of the players there. So in the midst of all of that, 52 million is not a great deal of money when you consider some of the transfer fees that's been bandied about. But with virus and the pandemic keeping everyone in lockdown, all the leagues suspended, etc., nobody really knows how football is going to react after this. So Liverpool's actually asked, they've basically asked Timo Werner's representatives for an extension. Of course, he wants to sort out his future as soon as possible. But Liverpool are saying that, we don't know what our future is in terms of financially. When this is all done and football resumes, do we have 60 million euros to spend? Do we have to sell someone before we can do that? Liverpool don't know. And we know that Ed Woodward came out, I'm going to do a video on Ed Woodward actually, but Ed Woodward came out saying that even financially it could affect Manchester United. Yes, we're in a better position than others, but it could still affect us. And if it can affect Man United, who are commercially top 2, top 3, if not the top club in world football, if it can affect them, it can affect anyone. It can affect Liverpool, no matter how many Champions League trophies they've got. So that's what the stall in the deal is at the moment. They've asked for the extension. I mean, there's no football going on in England. There's no football going on anywhere in Europe. So one might argue, what's the rush? What is the rush? I'll be very surprised if Timo Werner said, no, we need to get this done now, because Liverpool might have to pull out. And he may have to go elsewhere. There are other potential suitors, the likes of Barcelona, who they're looking at Lautaro Martinez from Inter Milan. If they fail in that bid. And as in the same breath, with the whole Corona situation going on, that deal is no longer a certainty. Whereas before, it looked like it was only a matter of when rather than if. Now it's a big if over that deal because of how much Lautaro Martinez, I think it's about 90 million, he is his release clauses. Timo Werner is a much cheaper option. So Liverpool, of course, are going to want to get this deal done as soon as possible, or at least get assurances from his representatives that he will join Liverpool once it's all over. You can't be sure of anything in football. You really can't. Until it is signed, sealed and delivered, you cannot be sure. So, yeah, the deal is still on the table, but it's very much, when I say the deal, the personal deal between Liverpool and Timo Werner, but it's very much on hold until Liverpool know their financial position when football does resume, and whether or not they're going to have the money to strengthen that front line. And I'm going to ask you, what would that signing mean for Liverpool going forward? Does that mean that one of the front three, Firmino, Mane, Salah, have to be sold, or does he add to that? Is it maybe one of the backup players, the likes of Divock Origi or Shaqiri, they have to be moved on for game time? Does Timo Werner slot straight into the starting lineup if he is to be signed, or is it just a case of rotation between what would be four brilliant attackers at Jurgen Klopp's disposal? Let me know in the comments below, guys. Hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll see you soon.